We interrupt this commercial break to show you how to find all the items in Cool Edge Zone. As usual, this is the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed, and I'm starting with the daytime stage.
Here we go!
The first item here comes after the sled at the beginning. There's a point where you have to run across a bridge of icy platforms, but if you're looking closely, you'll see a couple of grind rails under the bridge. With that in mind, you'll have to go back and take those grind rails, which will lead you to a wooden bridge down below with the first item. But the way this level is designed, you can take the main route up until the point where these two routes intersect, and then get the item by going backwards. As soon as you get out of 2D, there's a wide turn. After 2 waves of these little guys, you'll see icicles starting to fall. That's your cue to stay in the middle of the road because there's an item about in the middle of the road. Later, there's a spring that bounces you up to a chain of robots, and naturally you have to homing attack those robots. Then you'll be in position to drop on a grind rail, which goes on a loop-de-loop with an item close to the top of said loop. Once you're done with this item, you're done with this level too. And now the night stages, starting this zone with the Aurora Snowfields. There's an igloo within sight, and you'll have to take the liberty to prowl around it. There's a couple of jars in plain sight, but what you're really looking for is on the other side of the igloo, because if you go around and clean up some of the ice, you'll find an item. The second item is on top of one of these columns here. Using 3 of the platforms, the one with the crates and the 2 on top of these columns, you can get high enough to swing from this guy and get the item on top of the tallest column in the area. A third place to look is near these fans and this ice wall. The fans aren't really important, but they are a sign to look to the right, because you can drop right off this ledge and there will be a bridge to catch you. And going back into the left at this point, you'll find a little cave with the little item capsule. And when you need to get back up, there are actually 2 ways you can do this, including this monster. If he takes too long to get you, you can try jumping up and grabbing the bar mentioned earlier. After that, that's it. There are 4 items to look for in the next stage, the ice floe. Near the beginning, the path splits in 2. It's obvious you can go to the left, but it doesn't look like there's a path to the right, unless you start going to the left and then punch this wall on the right, because the instant you do, you'll see a flying monster. And that is how you access the area on the right. While you're heading over there, you can see what you're supposed to do next. Drop off and break these 2 ice walls. Grab this glowing bar and then shift your way over to the left so that you can reach the ledge with the first item. Keep in mind that this route is a dead end. On the other hand, the left route guides you farther. After you jump with these 2 poles, keep going until the path curves, because something is sticking out of the map at that point. And if you go down, you'll notice that that thing is really a ledge with the next item. Later, you'll reach the canyon with a higher path and a lower path, and you'll want to be on the higher route. The reason behind this, of course, is that the horizontal bars and the ledges take you to the next item. But what if you fall here? And actually, there's a good backup plan for this. Go to the point where you start climbing up the canyon and you have to grab a bar on the right. Once you're on this ledge, you need to start a gallop and jump to the left. You'll probably want to change your direction while you're in the air to assure that you'll land where you want. When you reach this iceberg, the goal ring is straight ahead. But first, get rid of the wall and jump to the platform with this item. Afterwards, you can finish the stage. There are 4 items to look for in the next stage, the Temple of Ice. Early on, there are some ice blowers and a button that turns them off. The area where the button is has a floor that you should explore, because if you check around back here near the fence, there's a ditch with, well, that. Later on, you'll see a gap in the floor and an item. There's an entrance in front of you, but there's also a hallway behind you with a different item. After that, this entrance leads you into the big chamber where you have to find keys to unlock this wall. In addition to the keys, there are some other collectibles to look around for, including one that you can see behind an ice wall if you immediately go to the right. Again, you need to go to the right, but this time it's to the far right corner where this ice wall is. So show that ice wall who's boss, because behind it is a bar that gives you access to the second floor. As you can see, you have to come up here to get 2 of the keys, but what you can't see is that there's something special off to the right. After turning a couple of corners, you'll end up near this item. And since this is the last item in the stage, you can hurry to the goal ring. With this being the last normal stage in Holoska, there are no more items to talk about.